I guess we'll move on. Roger, are you needing to go first? Is that?
I could. Good morning.
Can't. Since this is opening of sealed bids, do we need to have any,
It's close.
or quotes?
Yeah,
Okay.
just open them and read them.
Okay.
One sealed bid from Bell.
What is it?
I don't know, he's working on it.
And this is the removal of the underground storage food tanks at the highway. $47,875. With that being said, all the paperwork's in line and everything's itemized. Roger,
Yes, sir.
you have anything to add to that?
I do. I have a bid that came in by email, and I'm
Okay.
not sure that could be accepted or not. The attorney discussed that with you guys. It came in this morning at 7:31 from Kelly Price and Glenn Price Excavating. And I'm gonna quote exactly, so I don't. It says, "Good morning, Roger. Glenn did not have time to work up a formal bid for this, but he said his price would be 42,000. Thank you, Kelly." Now, I don't know if this could be accepted or not due to the fact that they did not present a written bid, but I think there's a caveat under the 50,000.
It's up to you to, it's at your discretion to accept and consider that.
I think we'll accept it and take it under advisement, is what I would recommend. So we'll accept that bid and then we'll take it under advisement and then make a formal decision on it. After advisement.
What I'll do is I'll forward this email to Colleen, and then she can print it, put it into the package, and then you guys can.
Okay. And what was that contractor?
Glenn Price,
All right, Glenn Price for 42,000.
42,000, exactly 42,000.
Got it.
They're out of Crawford.
Now, should you choose to select them, obviously, you're gonna have to ask them for all the detailed prices and all that.
Perfect.
That's all I have.
Roger, thank you.
I don't think I
Of
have any
course.
questions. Thank you. You want to move on to the minutes and the claims? Can I get a motion from someone to approve the minutes from our March 15th meeting as presented?
I'll make a motion.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
3-0. The claims 1 through 202 in the amount of $242,556.26, and then the unpublished claims and the payroll claims.
I will make a motion for the 1-202 for $242,556.26.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
3-0. And then our report of collection, the prosecutor's office as of December 31st, 2020, and the clerk's monthly report for February 2021.
I'll make a motion.
I will second
Okay, all those in favor?
that. Aye.
Aye, 3-0. Do you guys want to go on with the resolutions at this point, or would you like to do the departments?
No, we'll just keep rolling down.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
All right, resolution 2021-8, establishing policy procedures to protect quorum and foster the effective administration of public meetings. And I think that was, Kent, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that any, or,
It's just you, as the commissioners, you have the discretion and the authority to define rules and that govern your meetings. A resolution is a statement of policy, and that contains terms of meeting procedure and rules that are, some are close to Robert's Rules of Order, some are just more defined terms of how to conduct have a productive and civil and productive meeting. They're very common sense, and it's consistent with other boards, commissioners that have passed similar rules around the state. And it's completely within your discretion for
That being said, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2021-8.
Okay,
I'll second.
all those in favor? Aye. 3-0. Resolution 2021-9 regarding the governor's rescission of the statewide public health emergency. And that is, we have been following the governor's guideline, and I know the question was asked, are we still mandating mask wearing, blah, 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 and no, I mean, they're just advising it, so. Can I get a motion from
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second that.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. At this time, we're going to introduce a couple of ordinances that we're going to be reestablishing. The proposed ordinance would raise the current rate of cum cap development from 0.0267 up to 0.0333 per 100 assessed value. So when we advertise, we just put the max that it can go up to, not to say that we're going to go up to that high rate in a given year. And then introduction of ordinance 2021-2, reestablishing Cume Bridge Fund. Current rate for that is 0.0650, and the max that can be is 0.10. So there's not going to be action on our part. It will be advertised and brought before the council and commissioners, and then we'll have our public hearing then. The transfer request has already been done.
Yes, it's been taken care of.
Okay, so,
It was actually an error when the payroll claim, when the claim was entered. It was caught and corrected. The judge also found it, so we just need to strike that from.
okay,
It's already been taken care of.
okay, thank you. Discussion on the Lisa copier.
Do we need to
Pardon
make
me?
a motion to approve that or no?
No,
Transfer.
no, because it was more of a claims adjustment that needed to be made. Daniel, did you want to say anything about your lease of the copier, or do you just need our blessings on this?
really just need your blessing, have the funding that is there, go with the lease right now, probably need to purchase it outright, closer to the end of the year, once, make sure we don't have any budget expenses that we are earlier in the year, so.
Mhm, yes.
You need a motion?
Yes, I do. I think it's on the back page. If I can get a motion from someone to approve the lease of the copier.
I'll make that motion.
And I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. And then also he had provided a list of some miscellaneous items. You know, he's wanting to clean out his closet and everything. And I didn't really have a problem because I think a lot of it is well under that threshold.
It is, and I do want to say, I sent you an email saying the total balance was around 1,400. It's actually 1,888. The top two sections, where they're broken out, didn't get picked up in my total. It's a lot of technology stuff, as they got a new computer, the old monitor, the old keyboard, the old mouse, got put in the back room or side room, and it's sitting there collecting dust. And it's just in the way.
And I think at this point, you know, just working with the auditor's office for the fixed assets, and I think everybody reviews it every year, so we can just make sure that those items are no longer on there, and she'll just put on there dispose as of, you know, whatever date, it's fine.
And that's great. Do you have any recommendation on how to dispose of it? Do you want me to pitch it? Do you want me to set it out for a little while? If anybody says, hey, we want this, we'll pick it up and take it. I personally pitch it.
Pitch it.
Personally pitch
He
it.
said pitch it.
And I have no problem with that. I just want to make sure.
If Brad had any use for any of it, then so be it. If not,
I'll chat with him. I don't think he does. The one thing with computers, we've got to.
I think a lot of times the hard drives, they would have to be destroyed, yes.
The magic word is just declare it as junk surplus, and then the prosecutor would have discretion on whether it's something can be sold or given away or just tossed. Just if it has no real market value or the cost of a sale will exceed any value, then junk surplus. Yes, you can do it.
So it'd be best if we made a motion on that, okay?
I can make a motion, to give the discretion to the prosecutor, on any junk surplus to get rid of it as needed.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye, 3-0. There you go.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Moving on to the lease agreement for the chip box, and this is for the highways department, correct? Okay, and I think we had Kent review that lease agreement and everything.
There's a few responsibilities for the county on insurance and then make it tax exempt. There's some additional forms that just work with the bank to make sure the county fills those out appropriately.
And evidently, I don't know if maybe Eura does it at the highway, because as previous auditor, I don't recall having to send in any forms.
Gee, I've never seen one of those on here.
Just keep it on your list, make sure, it's a contractual obligation, so just I'm sure they'll want it to be done quickly, but find whoever's responsible for it, make sure they get it done.
I'll sign those later.
I'll make
Yeah,
a
there's a lot
motion.
to sign in that.
I know.
And I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. 3-0. Okay. Jill, would you like? Okay,
Yeah,
it
you're
doesn't,
fine.
that's fine.
So the governor has offered a second round of grant funds for connections for people with disabilities. We received a grant in Park County for the first round, and we thought we had multiple counties covered, but then they changed their minds. So
Okay.
we're just covering Park County now. So we have clients here, and then there are other providers that also serve clients, we also offer this, whether it's a device with internet or just a device that can connect to internet. The goal is just to make sure that people aren't isolated during COVID, which now is starting to open back up, but they're still offering the grant. So we just want to partner with you guys and be able to do this. The only requirement, I will send the contract for you guys to review. This does require the government entity's signature. So I want you guys to feel comfortable make that. And then there's a public hearing that we do, just to make the community aware. And we have very comfortable show us that it's going to get input from people, because it can really be, more people wanting to be involved, bigger project than what we have even in our county right now. But everyone has lots of stuff going on.
Right.
Are there any questions you guys have?
So, could you tell us what CARS does?
Yeah, CARS provides services, we have day services and residential services for people with developmental and intellectual disabilities. So we have group homes, we have people who are living in their own home, where we can have staff that go in and provide support for them to remain independent. And then our day service program is at the Shawnee Center outside of Attica. And there we have an art program, and we do also like practical and daily living skill development.
You have a facility, you have a home,
Yes.
living facility. Group home.
And then we have a couple of people living in their own homes or with family throughout.
And you're based out of Rockville, correct? They've been in the community for 40 years, ever since I was a police officer in Attica, and always done a fantastic job with the people they serve. So this grant does not cost Fountain County anything. All we're doing is helping disabled people. So I'll make a motion to accept the grant or
whatever we need to do to get it done.
And I'll second that.
Okay.
And we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 3-0.
You don't have to stay for the entire.
Yeah, don't feel obligated.
And then,
Thank you.
after you do the grant, if you can just pass that information on to Colleen, so
Yeah,
she.
and I'll email, there'll be a few things that I will.
Okay. Sure. Okay, thank you.
Can't order you
Yeah.
all the way.
You're free. Thank you.
Okay,
Brenda,
yes.
I need to get out of here too, if you don't mind.
Oh, do we need to get
No.
copies of
You have
that
to
or?
stay.
Yeah, let's,
You let the lady run.
let Colleen copy that.
I do not need a copy. Since it's the
Okay.
only
Oh.
paper one given, I checked it, everything looks fine, and I emailed you the.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll get with you, Roger.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
Yep. Oh, I'm not ready to go.
Rusty,
Preston,
you're on the hot seat.
good morning.
Morning. How's everybody?
We're good.
Good.
Just so y'all know, prices are going up like my blood pressure, so just hang on, things are getting expensive. One of the things I noticed in your minutes that I was to get you a quote on the radios on the maintenance contract, and I think I presented that, I think it was about 11,000 more, 10,000, something like that. I think it was 86,000 total, wasn't it?
Yes, 85 something.
85, 7,
Almost
80 something.
86, yeah.
So I did do that, and what that is a 3-year contract on the radios. So if we buy a different piece of equipment and we change radios to another one, we don't pay. That's part of the contract. If we update anything, they update for free. So not free, we're obviously paying for it. So that was taken care of. I just wanted to know, let you know. One question I have, Roger and I have been working together on this fuel tank thing. And right now, we're scheduled for new tanks to be put in April the 27th to the 29th, right in that period. Serious Solutions are putting those in for no charge. So when you thought originally 70, 80, 90,000 on the tank issue, that was about 40,000 was part of that cost. And they are providing us, because we've been their customer for 100 years. They, no charge to us, that's about $40,000 worth of tanks being put in. The city of Petersburg is helping us. I'm sure we'll end up paying. They have already put the electricity in for us, so we're good there. The question that we have is the east side of the new jail. There's a huge parking lot. It needs some work. I mean, I assume the contractor stored stuff on that property. We would like to move all our heavy equipment out there because of the confined compartment there to, when they start taking the tank, we're not gonna have room. We won't be able to get in and out. We're kind of landlocked on the east side of our property, so, we're thinking maybe storing that stuff out there. Or if we get the gated part done, we'll have it inside our stockpile lot.
Sheriff, do you see any issues with that lot in proximity to you? Okay, all right.
But right behind that lot, there is gonna be gardens, okay? Well, in that front part,
We're just talking for a few days, 3 weeks.
well, that's it. That's
Or
all.
this is
But I don't want a permanent.
No.
Okay.
Well,
That's
they
fine.
take the tank out once the tank's out.
I just wanna make sure it's not permanent.
No,
Okay.
no, absolutely.
So during that temporary time, you two can be in communication. If there's any hiccups there, if there needs not to be anybody there, then we can address
I
that.
mean, that's one of 2 or 3 options we're trying to come up.
Yeah, if you're just gonna get there for a little bit, not permanent.
What do you Justin on the time.
Month at most.
Month, we should do the month of May, by June we'll be out.
Yeah.
Should be, right? I mean, that was a temporary, somewhere when we stored where we knew you guys would watch.
Toilet rusty.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't say Roger said a month and we're not. If we find anything in the ground.
Right.
that
Then
changes-
we'll
that
have,
changes again.
so by then I can move to the other lot.
And just one more, I heard tanks and I came back. They can install the tanks on April 27th or 29th. They cannot put any fuel in them.
Right, until,
I already submitted to the state for a permit, so.
Right.
Let's wait for the permit to come through.
exactly. But we will be
You can install them and have them wired and all that.
And he'll be- taking care of the other side of it, so.
Okay, now I'm leaving.
All right.
Thanks, Roger.
The other thing I have is ITI, which is our local drug testing outfit, comes in and raises prices $25 per visit. So like I said, everything's going up. And I think you'll find that lease payment for that tip-off was already approved and in the budget. They just needed a guarantor signature is what basically you got on it. Since everything that you guys, unless you have something, I'm not.
I've got some,
Oh,
things. Rockaway Bridge.
yes,
I
the
just
sign
wanted to
door,
confirm Kent and you, while we're all here in public meeting.
okay?
Your email, Kent, it sounded like it was probably all right, putting that wherever we want to, whatever height
Right,
we deem necessary, and
Right.
we don't have to have an ordinance, because the state statute says if they hit it and damage it, they're legally liable.
right.
Any signage just gives notice of what the clearance is.
Yeah, I've got signage already, as soon as it's in, I'll post it.
Okay, and then I'll tell the bridge thing, they can
Right.
cover the thing after you get the signs. Okay, all right, that was easy. Okay, Hershey Lane, are we any close, I mean, what are we thinking on that? That's one in Hillsborough, it's been a public road for 40 years. And the land, and some people who live on it got a notice from an attorney out of Lafayette saying that for $1,500, you can clear up their issue, that their easement onto that road, correct?
Yeah, that's my understanding. There's nothing specifically directed at the county right now. Other than what's implied in their notice to the private landowners is that that's a private road and they own it, the trust. So, but there's not been anything directed at the county. There's no indication that they are gonna close it off. I suppose if these people don't pay up, and the trust tries to close it, then it's a county issue. Because I think there's facts to support that it is a public way and then it's a county road. So it's up to the commissioners on how you want to respond. And if there's something that's going to be involving litigation, it's something we should probably analyze and see if we can discuss in an executive session. But right now, as far as I know, it's status quo. There's nothing specifically directed at the county, and until they try to close it or until they try to ask for money from the county to continue to use it, then it's not really,
Well,
it's not necessarily our fight.
I don't understand what the issue is with landowners, because one of those houses was sold in the last 5 years. And there wasn't any title work that came up and said that there was an issue, so.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so
So-
from that, you can say a title company said, well, there's ingress and egress, and they're giving title insurance. So I think those are all facts that would support the county's claim if we were pushed to it.
So I'll tell these people that if they want to proceed with this, they probably need to get their own attorney.
Exactly.
And if they don't want to do anything with it, then that's up to them. Because it's not hurting them at all.
Right. I mean, you can say that the county, it's on the county road miles. The county maintains it, and does snow removal. But any decision that they have to, with what's being proposed by the trust is up to them, and then they have to get their own counsel.
All right. Then the last one is for lack of better word, Martin Doolittle. know it's closed.
Well, has anybody,
Well, I don't know it's closed. I'll take that back. I do not know it's closed.
It's not closed. I think the simplest solution for that is if the county commissioners want to if the landowners agree that that is right of way, or it is a public way, and they want to donate it to the county, then if they want to do that on their end, then it's up to the county on whether you want to accept that, have that be a donated county road.
And then put on the,
And then put it on the road.
Put on.
in the road. Yes,
So you find out
absolutely.
if it hasn't ever been shut?
Um,
If it hasn't been shut, why do they have to, why can't we just start maintaining?
Well, it's a matter of whether it's formally there's a difference between just public right of way
Right.
and whether it's county property. Public right of way is owned by everybody, so that's not an issue of whether it's open or closed, that's an issue of a title company saying somebody can, whether a title company, it's kind of the opposite of Hershey Lane. Obviously, if property is sold on Hershey Lane recently and somebody got title insurance, title company's saying, yeah, there's no problem with title, nobody's landlocked, everybody can get in and out. On the reason that the Doolin property issue has come up is a title company has said, I don't know if we can insure this because that road is in dispute. So to make that road not in dispute, the county wants to clear that up. If everybody who owns that, property along that section, those landowners would get together and say, and I don't know if we need surveying or what we need, but we can get a legal description of what's being donated. If that's donated, then there's statutory process for the county, then it's clear and it's established for forever until you vacate it.
So just letter from all of them?
No, they really need their own counsel for that, but I can help in trying to advise you what to tell them.
That's it.
No more on your list.
As regarding the fuel, did we determine if there's a long-term fuel supply agreement with the county? Did we determine that? I brought that up last time. I'm just curious.
I thought we were looking into that to see what was, I mean, it was stated that that was signed into effect
Yeah,
years ago. I don't know if that was ever found, discussed.
And I personally don't have a problem with closing that shit.
no.
I mean, it's a,
Well, we do accept bids, for gravel pipe,
yeah.
other things, so,
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with closing it.
yeah.
But whether we have an agreement, I don't know, we'll look for that agreement now until January or whatever.
What size of tanks they installing on next month or next couple weeks?
do what?
What size
size?
tanks are they?
2,000 each.
Twos? Two twos?
Nope.
Three twos?
And meter readers.
Is that a typical thing to have a long-term agreement like that put in place?
I
I mean,
don't know if typical's right.
Yeah.
Every law, county governments, local governments are a lot like families, and everybody can do things their own way, and there's the common law, we've always done it that way, and so I don't really know. I'm not, at some point, agreements turn into, we've always done it that way, and so we can just evaluate and figure it out for next year.
Are those new 2,000 gallon tanks gonna be is that the new going forward tank size? Nothing's gonna be replaced in the ground, is that correct?
yeah, they're all good above ground.
That's gonna be
About-
going forward,
Mhm.
2000s? Okay.
I'm not sure of size is specific. now.
Yeah,
I mean, that was,
Not really
that
set.
one on
But
our
it's going
side.
into this for now.
That was more set with what your need was. Okay.
What's in the ground now? Rusty?
A 4 and a 3.
He's gone.
4 to the, yeah, he's gone.
I think it's 4 to 6.
Okay.
10,000 split, where it is.
Okay. So Rusty, do you have any paperwork that you know of or no? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. All right.
Here's-
And I don't recall
Here's-
anything in the minutes.
Well, and so it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just,
So we'll look into the long-term agreement. We'll plan on getting it quoted
that usually a December thing? Is that usually a December
Usually we start in December, advertise it
or
in the
January
neighborhood
effective date?
to receive the bids in
Typically,
January.
that's what I
Right.
see.
Usually the second meeting in January. Okay. Anything else with the highway department? I'm just asking. Okay,
Roads are falling apart.
We fixed it
Yeah.
already?
yeah. It's never ending.
Never.
I know.
Guys. Both of you, you both want to come up, it's all right. You both want to come up, or you just don't want guards?
So the other thing I got is I sent you guys an email, last week referencing the best. We've researched for grants. We looked at the grant that Terry sent. Unfortunately, EMS is not included in that, and law enforcement, unless you have a established SWAT team, then you can gets a little tricky in that spot, but we're at a point right now that
They're probably on SWAT team, paramedics, yeah.
So moving forward, looking at the quote, we had quoted 26 vests, and that was including part-time people. It was $14,100 some dollars. But looking back at that, the challenge we're running into, Jeff and I talked quite a bit about this, is the part-time are what we call as per needed, so they're not there day in and day out. And my concern is if I bought a part-time one and then they left, then I'm stuck with that.
And the next one, don't fit.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I would like to see is maybe do it in if we move forward with it, is do it, I call it 2 stages. The first one would be is if you guys agree with me, go ahead and buy the full-time. Then let's go back and we look at the part-time, we may have to look at maybe a couple of sizes, medium, large, extra large, whatever, and then do it that way.
The thing with that is, Ken, I see lawsuit waiting to happen. Because I was not a full-time employee, I was not offered a vest, and I got shot. I own the county now.
Well, and I agree with that. I think what I'm looking at is,
To where I would like, up to you guys, I would like to see something, I've talked to some law enforcement about those things you put on. And I think you can get them in different sizes to where have them available to anyone on shift.
Okay.
That if they want to grab one or keep them, I don't know if you have room in the ambulances to keep them, or whether each person, when they go out on a run, they have the option to grab their, whatever they're called, they just go over your clothes.
okay.
I would love to see a price on those, because I think that keeps us out of it. If you want one, it makes you safe, if you feel good about having one on, because I know police officers who don't wear vests. They're uncomfortable, they're hard to put on. If I'm waking up at 2 a.m. at the med shed, and, oh my gosh, it's just a heart attack, I'm not gonna put this vest on.
Do you know what I guess I don't, do you know what they are?
Talking about the outer carrier vests, which you
Okay.
take the plates, you can buy the plates individually,
Uh-huh.
up to 4A,
Uh-huh.
which is, I'm telling you, what 4A is extremely heavy. But you can buy those plates, they'll fit inside the outer carrier. What is, you throw them on, you got a patch that says PMS on the front and back.
And I think that's what's quoted. I think I'll go back and look. I think
On the
that's-
outside?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
they're not
these
the
are-
ones you put on.
No,
underneath
these
your-
are the ones that go on the outside. These are
Okay.
the ones that are fit on the outside. This isn't under the shirt.
It's more like a sack vest.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
More, yeah,
it's more user
see,
friendly.
that's what I thought you were talking about.
No, I'm talking, it's a
And they're
it's a
paying,
fit over.
like police
Yeah.
officer, I remember.
Right, no,
Paying to put on-
and I see what you're saying, yes, no, it's not those, it's the one, it fits over the top.
But still though, whatever is available would be available to everyone.
Yes.
At any given time, they wouldn't be person specific.
Right.
At that, they would be available to whoever's on call.
That
right
way,
there
I think
to
we
grab
could-
the roll.
If you needed 26, surely we could get 5 or 12 of different sizes. However many ambulances you have, there needs to be at least 2 per ambulance.
Right,
And different sizes.
right.
I mean, and I don't know the difference in the sizes, how, you know,
Mhm.
maybe mediums work for small people and medium people. Maybe extra large work for bigger people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I
Yeah,
said,
that's my opinion. That's fine.
right, yeah, I see what you're saying. No, it's not the one. I know what you're. which one you're
Yeah, I
talking
was
about
saying
now.
that, I'm like, these people are not gonna put those on
No.
after a while.
No,
Well, and
this is-
regardless, I mean, nothing is going to be 100%
No,
foolproof because you could offer them and that individual could decide, I'm not going to wear one, and then something would happen to them. They own us, you know, but yet we did try to offer.
That's what
It
I
can be a
want. I mean,
no-win.
We're just at that point right now where the, it's
Okay.
the logistics side of it,
Okay.
and the financial side of it, we're at a point that everything we've exhausted, there's just nothing there right now at this point. Grants are not available for us.
Right.
And it's over the top, over the clothes. I mean, obviously, for what I'm wearing, I would just throw it over the top of my clothes, take it back off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
I think,
what we're
I think
looking
that
at.
can be shared easy.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay,
Just
so
use
we're
the
looking at,
proper quantities.
Right, the proper size.
Right.
and quantity, yeah.
which we would have, I mean, obviously, multiple sizes.
Right.
Size people, so.
Right.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at, you know, I'm just kind of presenting that to you guys moving forward with this project. I mean, it's.
Well, and once you get that information, you know, what you're wanting, I'm sure the council will decide where those funds, you know,
Is that
maybe
something
could
you
come
want me to
from.
bring up next week at the council meeting?
I think you probably should discuss with.
Probably,
Okay. So I'll put stuff together and then I'll bring it
if
in.
you can get that together then, yeah, because they're gonna want to say hey, we're willing to do this.
So you're looking more at just the different sizes, not doing just the individual, and then try to do different sizes for the part-time people.
Well, my vision is it would be either probably in the Bay Area,
Mhm.
and there'll be 5 extra larges, there'll be 5 mediums, there'll be 5, or maybe more mediums, to where they can just grab it.
Okay.
No matter.
When they get out, whether I'm called in, third bus out or whatever,
Mhm.
I can grab one and go if I want.
Okay.
That way they have the option to take.
That's all I had, was just kind of.
My only thing would be we need to throw a cabinet in there. We're gonna do it that
Yeah,
way.
store 'em.
Not good with that, but
Yeah.
we need storage.
Yeah, you don't need to get filthy from dust and everything.
Right.
Yeah, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
The, how's the new unit coming, or new renovated, whatever you call it?
The ambulance?
Yeah.
I've not heard anything out of him. I'll try to reach out to him this week. He had to wait towards more the end of the month for the chassis to find out the timeline on that, which we're at the first of the month now, so I'll reach out to him today and find out. The other unit is over there now, that we're remounting boxes over there.
Yeah.
So, I'll check with him today, just kind of do an update, see where he's at with that new chassis.
And is there an old unit that's being retired that would potentially be put into auction? Separate from what you're talking about? There was a citizen that maybe reached out.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that one, I totally forgot about that. We have that 1989 green army truck that we bought back in 2010. Yeah, I would like to get rid of it.
Okay, so we need to probably give it a call lane so it can be advertised, is that right? Okay. All right, yeah, so for the public auction,
Right.
county auction, I guess I'll say. So
Yeah.
if we're gonna get rid of that, I think we just need to go call in and get that listed, and that way we can roll whenever that auction's gonna be. Colin, do we have a date set, or we're just?
I don't think so.
24th of April.
Oh, was it? Okay.
24th of April, okay.
Yeah.
Is it too late to add something to it?
I'm not sure if Greg has,
Well,
Advertising.
it might, that's Russ himself.
I'll take it.
I know that
I
I've had
can
different
I
offers.
can put tools in it, I can do a lot of stuff.
Okay.
That's fine.
If that's, if.
The only thing I look at, and I don't know how that work, just keep it as county owned, is I've had offers up to 10 grand for the job, and that's what we paid for it. Now, the other day I was offered $2,500 for it. That's the only thing I don't know where you guys stand with that, or what your thoughts are on that, but now I've had a couple of people offer me 10 grand, I didn't take it because obviously I had to talk to you guys about, I don't want to do that, but.
If you're gonna sell it, you have to advertise it, solicit bids, putting in the auction would be the statute, but if it's gonna just transfer from one county department to the other, then there's no action required.
And we'll take care of, money.
Yeah, that's up to you guys, I mean,
Council.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just need to coordinate with Rusty. Rusty, do you see a need for it, or you just?
If he can sell it for 10,000, get it out of here, so I'll only get 700.
Well, there's no guarantee.
right, I mean, that was a few months ago too. I mean,
Right.
And you could advertise it and set a minimum,
Yeah.
if somebody comes in, you can sell it, if you don't get what you
Okay.
want for it, then you can
Okay,
change one.
Okay.
You can reject all of it.
let's go down that route.
Okay.
We'll do it, we'll determine a minimum on it, and we'll throw it with Colleen.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and if that falls through,
You good with that? Okay, all
perfect.
right,
Okay, Monty, thank you.
thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, I'll work on that, and I'll let you guys know.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, before I get started, I have a gentleman here named Paul Scheibel. He's, I guess, something to do with like the vent system of the jail, I'm sorry, in the kitchen area. I'll let him present his stuff before I.
Good morning.
Thank
you. I'm with Forson Fire Security, and we helped or did the installation of the fire suppression system in the kitchen in the jail. And those systems are required or recommended by the NFPA and code to be inspected every 6 months. Where we go in, we change the links in the systems, we blow out the pipes, we make sure that the system trips correctly and turns off the power and gas as necessary. And that's a service that we installed that system in October of 19. And as to our knowledge, at this point, it has not been serviced yet. I don't know if that has happened.
It probably wasn't used for another year after.
Yeah, so that's fine. But it is,
Had to get that.
yeah, no, I don't know. So somebody else, but, the service on those, it's $545 a year, and so it's $247.50 per inspection. It's a very mainstream component. We're a full service fire security company.
Oh, I know that. Good. I'm just looking
Yeah.
at you on the restaurant.
Right, it was that I had to
Yeah.
do it, so
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Great.
So talked to Terry and given him a quote for it.
So, yeah, I think we just need to get set up, where when it's 6 months.
You automatically come in. and do it.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I agree
Take
with
that
you.
burn off then.
So work with Terry to get that approved.
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, his was easy, Terry.
Yeah.
His was easy.
Oh, mine's easier. Real quick. Basically just wanting. You guys' blessing to go to the commission or the council. I'll give you my thoughts. Look, I've got 65 inmates in jail. I've got another 30 coming. I need jail staff. So my thing is, I would like to go to the council to ask for the additional jail staff. 4 more is what I need.
How many of those 65 are out, you got here?
We're actually at 70 this morning.
Okay.
70.
How many are out of county, Jason? 30, 35 a day or 40 a day?
37.50 a day.
Okay.
So
And then when the other 30 come, that's part of Million
that's the
County.
main county.
So that would be another 37.
Yes.
And the whole reason to have this jail, Vegas was to do this. so
Right.
They would staff it.
And now we're
So
We're actually growing, pretty quick out of it. I hate even saying that. Oh, Lord, I hate saying that. But we're getting coming in, we got money coming in.
We can always control that.
Right, so, I'm glad that we are.
I gave Terry absolutely good. account.
Well, I want to add to that because we had had discussion about what are you guys doing about your maintenance, cleaning of your building? That's never been brought up to the council. It's been kind of discussed, but not put
We've
in.
been having the inmate workers
Okay,
help out in the area as far as training.
okay.
Um,
Because I know, I think
Yes.
you and I had talked, and some of these jails, that they would have someone on staff that is their job. And then maybe if they are needed somewhere else, you could
Right.
pull them,
I didn't know if you guys were looking at somebody for countywide, Illinois County buildings.
We haven't,
Smart, 'cause our bill, none of our bill, all our buildings, one person could easily, but.
well, I think it got to the point where we took our custodians, the thought was, well, we don't want to pay benefits, let's just have two part-time,
Right.
and
My
sometimes
issue-
that just doesn't work out,
Well, my
and
issue
you
with the
have some
jail is,
needs.
You go
So
upstairs,
technical.
yes, you
Yes.
start messing with the filter system and.
And that's the problem with hiring somebody full-time, something like that. They would have to be very knowledgeable about a lot of
Yes, they
different
are
things.
very versatile.
And ultimately, all they're going to do is call a professional. You come in and do
Okay,
it.
this
Right.
You
is
see that in the school system. They
Yes.
pay a guy that's supposed to be a troubleshooter, but yet all they end up doing
Mhm.
is calling in,
Right.
the electric contractors of this, of that.
So I think.
But we still need that
Right,
type of a person.
Yeah, without a doubt, I think there needs to be some.
I
As
agree.
far as maintenance goes with all the buildings and stuff. I mean, like I said, ours is new, but I'm not sending the jailer or to change filters out in the air system or anything like that.
Right.
So, and as far as the cleaning, it would be nice to have somebody come in once or twice a month. Because most part, we do keep the inmate workers busy with that. I mean,
Now, obviously, they're not in the office area.
they are not.
Who cleans that?
We do. I mean, I have no problem pushing through, we all have. So we all take turns and we clean and do what we have to.
Is council aware of that,
So right now, you're looking just for.
Which part?
all of it?
You.
Okay,
Yeah, four would put us under 20, which
Right.
the jail study that was done back in 2019 said 20 jail and room facility. We kind of agreed to a lesser because we only had 30 or 35 inmates at the time to save a little money.
Right.
Right now, we're gaining.
When people found out, hey, we were built, I mean, we already had people calling ahead of time.
As of the end of March, we brought in $101,887 for out-of-county holders. So.
That's
we're gonna be
37.5,
well over paying
is that what you
those
paid,
jail
37.5?
Yeah.
Yes, 3750,
Yeah, that's about 3
so,
without benefits and things, so it's no.
right.
It's $53,000 to hire a jailer with benefits.
I think I would
That
like.
good, thank you for that number. So we'll leave that.
Did you have those figures on
Already.
I don't know that they're in there. I have the.
there? We said,
Any live on, any female jailers?
What?
are
Any
you,
live on?
We hired me.
Oh, we already won.
how many do you have total, female?
Three.
Okay,
We have to have
One more.
one more, yes.
okay.
I mean,
How
right
have
now,
you been advertising and all?
we've advertised it everywhere.
Hmm.
It just seems like nobody wants to work.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty,
I know,
Mhm.
or they're not qualified.
or they're not qualified enough.
Okay,
That
That was all I-
You gotta have at least 3.
what about your scan, or how's that? You got it?
May 3rd, yes.
Okay,
May back date.
Next week, so they're gonna put it, and that'll be delivered.
okay, good.
So tell me, you're going.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I've got. If you guys have anything-
I'm glad you didn't say me.
Yeah, I'll pass.
I did get a price on the modems for our vehicles, for going to modem setting again, instead of air card like we're on. It's kicking our guys off the pad again, we're losing service, Montgomery County with the modems. AT&T come through with the price for us, it's cheaper than even more Rusty paid.
And the good
Could be
thing-
back, yeah.
The good thing is, that, I mean, it puts us on the map now, so that the special can see where we're at,
Mhm.
or our neighborhood is moving, or something did happen, so. it's
That's
been-
awesome.
It's been neat a long time, I mean,
Well, it's always been a concern for years, with some hesitancy.
when I was first event, the day, the night I wrecked, if I would have had it, we would have known where I was at, so.
Yeah,
6,690. Which I
And
have,
this will keep you from getting kicked off.
yes, Morgan County didn't lose any service with that. What it is, it has an external antenna that mounts on top of your vehicle. And it's all Wi-Fi. So you can run your laptop, you can print from anywhere off of it.
Do you
do you have funds for
have
that?
funds or are you looking for funds?
Well, we don't have funds.
Okay.
If
No,
we need to wait until budget time to talk about it, then.
I'm not buying life
No.
over $6,000.
No, I'm sure we can find, and like I said, bring it up next meeting, and that's why we tried to, when budgeting in the different funds that the Commissioners Council, control, it's easy, just pay for it now for the need, boom, you're done, you don't have to wait a month or so.
Yeah, we bought all these laptops for the vehicles, it'd be nice
They were.
to utilize it.
Yeah.
You know, they can be on a crash scene and print from there, print it straight to the jail and be done.
Done,
you know.
yeah. Or they can set and type a report.
Yeah, if they're at the
Right.
accident scene and do.
Yeah.
Did you need this back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all I've got. So, anything else?
Thanks, Sonny.
Not this time.
Oh, great, thanks.
Thank you.
Just good.
Thanks, those inmates coming.
Hey, no problem, anytime, Rusty.
Okay,
With
Do-
health department. and
yeah, do we
emergency-
want to start with Eric and Jenny? Or do we want to start with? Yeah, let's start with Eric and Jenny. Okay.
Setting your patient.
Yep, they have it. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning. Okay, just to give you an update, since spring hit, the complaint calls have come at us right and left.
Mhm.
We're working multiple complaints. We have several letters out, several letters are starting to become due for the first 10 days. So Terry,
Walk us through the process on that.
what we're doing is we are sending a violation letter first. If they don't respond, we're going to send it, have the sheriff's department try and deliver the letter. No response, I'm going to turn it over to Ken.
Yeah, and then can't, if, whatever has happened at that point, Kent will file charges with the prosecutor if they don't.
That's what we're looking.
And then the
That's what we're
prosecutor.
talking about here, right? That meeting.
As far as sending out letters from the sheriff's department, for violations, and we do that for your department? No letters.
Yes, I believe services for our county entity is free, I think, we have talked to Paul about all that, but I believe it is in the case.
And if not,
Okay,
we'll
so
try to pass it on to the violator.
we would, we just require three copies, so we can have one filed, returned, and a service copy.
So the days of the health department not having the power, I mean, for years, I think these letters went out, people just laugh at them, throw them away.
Right, and they know.
That's in them.
Well, as an example, one of them that we're doing on Sand Hill Road, I've been down there lately.
Yep.
It has gotten tenfold worse. Now it's not one property, it's multiple properties.
Right.
Yes, sir. And if we can start getting some of these people into court, the county's gonna.
They'll get around.
Yeah.
Abandoned buildings and things, Ken, is there an ordinance that Montgomery County has or? any
Well,
county
we-
you guys work with?
The board of commissioners passed and adopted the unsafe building law, which is the prime mechanism to attack abandoned buildings. So we have that on the books.
We have that here?
Mhm, yeah.
Okay,
We did that last year, or the year before. I think we did it the year before, and last year, nobody did.
Right.
And the other things that you can consider is you could pass legislation that requires property owners with unoccupied structures to have to report those, and you have basically an abandoned house registry system.
And that would be mobile homes also.
Oh, yeah, structures. So that's a pretty powerful tool that a lot of cities use. There's no reason that a county can't or shouldn't. So if you want, I can look into.
Could that include vehicles, or is there a separate thing for vehicles?
There's a separate statute. There's already a statute in place for vehicles, so we can analyze that for you and the procedure.
Well, the reason I ask is that St. Hill, there's a huge camper out there that's.
Is it visible from the trip to the abandoned vehicles? It has to be visible from public property.
Okay. Yes, it is. Very, very much.
So that's a separate issue, but on abandoned properties, it's having, once we start going after abandoned housing, then there's unsafe properties, unsafe buildings. It's a matter of there's a process to go through, and then there are demolition costs. And then there's a procedure to recover that, but that's a lot of times it's blood out of turnip, so you have to have the financial support to take those buildings down.
Then put a lane against the property.
They usually that way.
I think that's what Peter's doing. And it works well.
I have a question on that too. On a new construction, the house is allowed to put e-trough drain into county ditch, is that correct? Basement drain, it's not allowed for sewer. Right? Correct. Is that three?
You mean for like a perimeter drain around?
Perimeter drains, right?
Let me double check.
Okay.
Perimeter drain can go to the ditch.
I'm looking into the situation right now. They're saying perimeter, and it's very black.
I know, it's not a perimeter. It's not a perimeter.
I know.
It's spelled.
And I know roof shingles don't smell like that. So that's my point I'm trying to make on the, I mean, I know there's 2 or 3 that are allowed to, but.
Well, let me tell you this, water goes in the house, water has to come out of the house into the septic system.
Yes.
If it's out.
Yes. I guess there,
A perimeter drain is catching groundwater.
Right.
Subsurface water, and top water too.
But it's not catching the septic.
Yeah, they're not supposed to tie in their roof drains into their perimeter drain for the septic.
That's what I want to make sure we. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Okay. Anything else? The junkyard, I just wanted to ask, the place down on 234, you got all that, correct? Okay. I'm thrilled to have that report from you.
Yes, yes, I'm thrilled to have the environmentalists back.
There's gonna be more.
Yeah.
Good.
deal. Jenny, you have anything?
Andrew just made a suggestion that instead of doing, us mailing the letter out, that just have it straight from the sheriff's department. So that way our tax considerations.
That way we're not 2 or 3 months out.
Yeah, they can't say they don't, I'm sure you did better.
That's what I was gonna ask from you. So we'll do that.
And with the US mail the way it is, they might literally not get it.
Yes, and that is true.
For a week, at least.
Months.
Yeah.
Anything else from us?
Nope.
No, thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Did we want to ask anybody online from?
Did we have anybody else on Zoom?
This is Dr. Sharma. I'm just listening to the meeting and happy to answer any questions if the commissioners have regarding the COVID response or other health department activities.
Okay, let's try this again.
This is Dr. Sharma, just listening online to the meeting. Happy to answer any questions the commissioners have regarding the COVID response.
Hang on, you keep cutting out on us. We're getting IT on this. Okay,
Okay, time out. Stop.
time out, Dr. Sharma.
He's still talking, I think.
What is he doing?
I can hear you guys okay, but
Third word that you're saying.
There's a man.
We have IT working on it. Just a second.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Test, 1, 2, 3.
You want me to have him try again?
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Not really.
Okay,
Hang on, give us one more second.
Can we just pull it and then we'll do?
Can you hear us?
yep, I can hear you guys.
Oh,
There we
that's
go.
good.
There
Okay.
we go. Okay, restart. We didn't get much of it from the beginning.
Okay. Well, I'm just happy to answer any questions the commissioners have regarding the COVID-19 response. Thank Jenny and Eric for getting back on a lot of the environmental issues and attending the meeting today. I'll summarize briefly that our basic efforts at this time are still focused on COVID-19 testing, which is offered at the health department on average about 6 days per week.
Dr. Sharma?
And- yes. Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear? I can hear you guys now.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We got you loud and clear.
Okay. Sorry about the hassle. I'll just try to make this short and sweet. Testing is ongoing at the health department. Vaccination efforts continue. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, or you can ask now.
Yeah, so Dr. Sharma, do you want to bring up any scenarios with any concerns you may have or any ones that you guys may need going forward for the projection here with the vaccine clinic or anything going forward?
Yeah, so we're trying to keep an eye on the funding stream regarding the staffing for the vaccination clinics. As I think many of you guys know, we're running vaccination clinics about 4 days per week. Many of the staff are part-time staff that are being paid at a negotiated state rate. And we just want to make sure that that funding stream doesn't run out so that we can continue to maintain those mass vaccination clinics. Now, as of right now, I think that the funding is secured. We did just make some adjustments to our schedule with the State Department of Health to secure more funding for those vaccine efforts, but we will be in communication with the council and/or commissioners if it appears that funding resources are going to be hampering our vaccination efforts. At this time, I don't believe that that's an imminent threat.
Okay, thanks for that update. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Are there any other immediate needs, Dr. Sharma, that needs to be brought to our attention?
No immediate needs.
I think on behalf of the county and the commissioners, it was a breath of fresh air to see both of our environmentalists sitting here this morning talking about environmentalist needs, so we appreciate that aspect. And again, on behalf of the commissioners and county, I think we can't deny the efforts that went forth with the nurses and those staff on that vaccine. We've heard nothing but great things on that behalf, on that crew. So job well done to all of our employees on the front lines of making that happen, both on the environmentalist side now and on the nursing staff.
Thank you.
I think everybody's shaking their head. I know you probably can't see us, but I think that's all we had at the moment. That's all you have for us right now.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Since we can now vaccinate 16-year-olds, is the method of vaccinating them going to change? Like, are they going to go to the school, or are they still going to have to go to Williamsport to get vaccinated?
I think that would be a direct question that would need to be transmitted to the health department. They're making that call.
I'm happy to comment on that.
Yeah, not that health department. This health department.
Go ahead.
So currently the vaccine that's available at the Fountain Warren County Health Department is for ages 18 and up. The age 16 and 17-year-olds are available or eligible for the Pfizer vaccine. Our department's currently making efforts based on local and regional partnerships to get some Pfizer vaccine available to target 16 and 17-year-olds that are interested in vaccination. Our timeline for that would be mid to late April or early May. And if possible, we would seek partnerships with our local school systems to help facilitate administration of vaccination to those eligible age groups.
Thank you.
I do have a couple of things. Rusty, I think at one time, we talked about like maybe offering some dust control for those of us that live on gravel roads. Could you see if there is anything out there that maybe could be offered, you know, at the expense of the landowner, obviously?
The biggest problem right now, I don't have enough manpower to do that, to take care of everything we got. Like when we had 35 men, we could do that, or we could do this, we could do that. And right now, we're looking at sealing our chip seal with a chemical that would also work possibly, I'm not gonna say it's good, that's,
Okay.
but it could.
Well, I mean, is it something we could look into or possibly?
One of our biggest problems right now, we got people that pay $60,000 and $70,000 that have it done 20 years ago, and I can't take care of it.
I know that, but, well,
I
mine
mean,
being tore up and, someone going by my house. Well, obviously I live on the wrong side of the road.
My house, the same thing, right in front of my house, got a fall, so big enough to swallow the front wheel of the truck, so.
And then you have the same half dozen cars that go to town back and forth within 15 minutes.
I got a bucket load of dirt out of the field and put it in the hole.
Yeah, okay.
So there's enough gravel in the field, halfway, fill the hole. But I'm looking at that every day, trying to find some sort of.
And it's been a while, you know, since you and I talked about it. So, let's see, just want to make sure that we covered everything.
We need to go. Greg, I don't know. Does he may have anything? I know you're not emailing, but. Okay. hearing you.
I know, I'm here, yeah, I have, he's downstairs, but, he said he didn't have anything for us, so we're pretty good. But as far as landfill goes, I'm just working on, Ryder's talking to Gerald right now about ruling landfill, because it's not a rule. And then I haven't looked at the board yet, we'll be doing that project, then we can see how that works out, and start working on it, as long as the rain holds on. Sure. But, no, that's all I got. Perfect, thank you.
I do have another thing, and I think I sent some examples to our county attorney regarding the ARP recovery grant funds. I just some of them are, there's some counties that have adopted it, the ordinance, today. Following the guidelines, that the state is saying, and I don't know if you had a chance to put something together, for us.
I think we're going for the April meeting.
Okay, and even though we don't have an initial plan in place, I think what some of these counties are doing, they'll amend it from time to time. So it has the guidelines as far as the fund establishment, the owner's gonna set up the fund, and then the use of the funds is spelled out. I think there's like four different areas, and then it can be amended. So if we can do that, that way we can use funds for upcoming meetings.
I think something that we should address publicly, is the ARP money that's coming, get that on the table. So, Fountain County, with the release of the grant or funding of ARP, part of the COVID money coming through, Fountain County's in line for $3.1, I believe, million is the lump sum, and I should say lump sum, but it's not a lump sum. It will be very detailed in how that money is spent and where it is spent and what funds it goes into. So I think it should just be publicly known that it's not like $3.1 million gets dropped through our general fund and says, good luck. It's dispersed over 4 years. And there's very tight restrictions on how the money is spent. So before everybody starts pointing guns at us and asking for the 3.1 million, it is very well described on how we can spend that 3.1 million. And they're still working on some of that on how and when and where to spend it, but just put that on.
I know Stapler Accounts and AIC are working with the auditors on some of the details that you're talking about, because we may want to budget like we would some department, the different line items, just for ease of the auditor's office, because she's going to get audited on this, and there needs to be transparency, for all.
Yeah.
I'd already asked for all of it, so I'm way ahead. I let Tim know how much was in there. That's just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the commissioners and council, will be working together on a plan, and with the assistance of AIC, State Board of Accounts, on what these funds can be used for, and I think we'll get part of the money. And it's not just, the county. You got townships that they're not going to get their own money. So if there is a need, we need to know about it.
One of the counties working with volunteer fire departments.
Yes.
To buy things. There's a huge need for that.
So, so if you know of anything, we'll be sure to pass it on, and we'll just see if those things, fall under restricted.
Our first installment is supposed to come the 11th.
Yes.
Oh,
First
okay.
installment.
Okay. I was unaware that they, so thank you. Yes, sir.
I want to interrupt the meeting. I know that we're probably close to the end of it. And I know I haven't attended these meetings here for quite a while because of COVID. But there is a subject I'd like to pursue. And this would concern probably Terry and some of them. But I know we built the new jail with the aspect of taking in out-of-county residents to help pay some of the costs of building this new facility. And unless I missed something more, what I would like to clarify that, They said we'd taken in a little over $100,000 by the end of March, is that right? But if we hire 4 new staff, that's gonna be $212,000.
Right.
Is this sustainable if we're only taking in 100,000?
Well, they're ramping up. They've got 30 more coming. It should.
So how much?
Montgomery County prior to COVID was begging this jail to be open. They were overcrowded. They would have literally, I can't remember people on jail. They would have probably taken 60 minutes to shop at that time. I mean, they were wanting, then COVID hit, judges released everybody, not holding them, everybody had to bail anymore. So it just really depends on what happens from here on out. Do the courts maintain what they're currently doing? Is it working? Do they start bail up again? Do they do, they hold people for certain things? But, we're still relatively pretty new to being open. So as long as they're understaffed right now, whether they have, get 30 more there or not.
And what's the total capacity of that?
120.
Yeah, so let's be mindful that we're just over half full at the moment with that revenue. With the 120, that's 70 inmates being accounted for, so.
And one thing that we haven't done yet is contract with the federal government. A lot of times, you can get into a lot of issues with that because federal prisoners are generally higher risk, whether they're just illegals that ICE is transporting back and forth across the country or whatever, but there's usually some risk with that. But they pay $75 a day, $85 a day. And we're perfect. We are 30 seconds off I-74. So those companies that move those, the U.S. Marshals and the private companies, that's perfect for them. The only thing we don't have is a hotel for the driver to stay at. So, but other than that, it's a perfect location for a county, for a holding facility.
So at this time, we're still deficit as far as operating in black. How soon, I was gonna say, how soon do you think we would hit black ink? But according to what you told me, probably not real soon. What capacity do we have to have to really get to black on this jail?
I don't even know if the jail, most county jails, they're never meant to be in the black, bless you that they are.
No, that was the main thrust of building this jail, was to be able to take.
As big as it was, yes. As big as the jail was, yes, I believe that 100%. Because at that time, remember, everybody was crowded around us. And they needed, we could have put out a lot of bed space.
All I said, we didn't need the jail.
Right. Okay.
I was hoping that
Yeah.
by taking in and out of county people.
Prior to COVID.
It would lessen the burden on maybe people down here.
Prior to COVID, that jail would have probably been full.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we didn't open it until June.
Right.
And then you had COVID. So it's like, even when we get to June of this year, we're not really gonna know. I mean, we're kind of speculating what kind of revenue is gonna be coming in. And I do think that we have Andrew and Carrie are doing a top notch, getting the figures together to us. Because I think in the past, we haven't really seen a lot of the activity that's been going on, over there. And yes, this is very small over here, the old jail, but we couldn't hold, 18, 20, because you had.
Yeah, by the state, by the 80%, actually probably about 16 was our max.
And then
Yeah.
what were we spending per month housing out before the new jail was built?
15, 20.
So if I'm spending $15,000 a month, they got times 12,
right?
And we're getting $100,000 in now, and we're not housing them out. I think that's the black right there.
There was one year, it was like 100 to almost close to 300,000 that we were spending out of county housing.
So we're not housing
anything out now.
Granted, there's a little bit of juvenile in there,
You can't do that, that's totally
but
different.
it's
ballgame.
just totally different,
So
so.
what we're not taking out kind of overcompensates for what we're not taking in. So
Yes.
in a manner of speaking, we are reaching
Right.
a black area.
And I think I've asked that to Terry before, you know, how long it would take him to kind of ramp up to fill that need where he thought, capacity was. And he said, I think at that point, at least a year to a year and a half, and that was, you know, middle of COVID. COVID really put a damper to that because they weren't allowing people in, and they were just being really cautious of how they transport those prisoners there. So.
There's a lot of unknowns, but I mean, they're really working on some things and communicating, you know, so that's been huge.
I remember seeing the financial that they had sent, and it wasn't as far out of line as what I had anticipated. With me being new, coming in, I wasn't always part of the build of that jail. So when I saw the financials, I was pleased with how it looked, I guess, given the circumstances that we were in.
As I understand it, when this jail was built with the idea of expanding it. Therefore, there is room to expand. And if COVID hadn't hit, we might have hit the target we were shooting for. And if we do hit it, how long will it take us to expand?
We never have to expand if we don't want it. I mean, we can say, we've got all kinds of county people housed, we're making X number of dollars, we're good. Because expansion just means more people. Again.
But you gotta have housing.
Right. But what I'm saying is, we built another wing, and built another pod, there's another 20 employees.
Right.
Which
So
is
you
what we're
gotta
trying to
balance everything and try
And
to.
believe me, I don't think in the future, there's gonna be near the need for out of county. There's a lot of new jail construction in our area right now. White County getting a new jail, yeah. I mean, in the state of Indiana, there's a lot of new jail construction going on. So there's just a lot of.
Okay, that is
a lot of this and that.
I think at any point we got to capacity and we could see that a future expansion would, help the financials of that jail with, you know, offsetting it, then we would consider that. I would at least. Yeah. The pros and cons and see what that expansion would cost and the revenue would bring in, if it makes sense. It makes sense.
Are we ready to close out a couple of things?
Does extension have anything?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Only got in the first.
Over this area?
We definitely need it. We got, like 14 total, in them 30 years plus. And the rest are out of it for the courtroom. And that's what we got. It's really good bid, because we gotta have crane. It's roughly 13,000.
Yeah,
That's
we
everything.
did get those, but,
Well, so that is great. We're gonna hang on to that one. They will reach out to Scott, with, RFQ basically, with the request for quote, and all that will be handled through, a contractor.
So you're not gonna let Scott Williams do it, then?
No, I
no,
didn't
we're not
say
saying
that.
that.
It will be ran through an overall master plan, is what I'm saying, through an RFQ process.
So you're thinking this time?
We don't,
I mean, we're already in the summer, but yes, we're in the process of
What I'm
making that.
saying, they got 2 errors. If one goes out, we got one goes out, the courtroom is better.
Yeah.
For error. That's all I'm saying.
we're aware of
And how
that.
long has it been like that though?
Probably a year.
Okay, and like, that's where I get frustrated, because now we're in April, now we're just not talking about it again. Like, if the air needed to be worked on, needed to be worked on back in November, not April, then I can't help it because I wasn't here back in November. But it's a process that we're not gonna.
We've got to start somewhere.
It's gotta be an overall process. It can't just be throwing stuff together, because if the air has to be done, there may be roof issues that need to be fixed over there. Like, it all has to come together. We're not saying that Scott's not gonna get the job, but Scott will have to go through.
I don't care who gets the job, I'm just looking at for the
Yeah.
court.
And we appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
If they want to do that, that's just like,
Yeah, and We're just trying to get to where we're not fixing something 6 months later getting tore out because we're doing something different or whatever. We're gonna turn it over to professionals.
Yes. Are we gonna do this at our next meeting? We talking to the council first?
Yes. So I don't think it really opposed to us. We need to probably share it with Kent.
Okay.
And get his advice on it.
Can we forward that email to them?
Yeah.
I'm gonna forward an email from
Art
Arthur regarding master plan and some other things that you could look it over for us, and so that we can move forward with some of the needs of this courthouse, and that instead of just doing a little bit here and then we're doing it out of order, that is not what we want to do. It's not that we don't want to fix that, we do.
According to their plan, that would happen
Yes,
with their
it would
plan
happen.
immediately.
So we just want to do it within a plan and a guideline for change.
So we'll share that with you. I've also shared it with the council, and they were reviewing it, and I'll meet with them next week. Monday, so I'll discuss that, but.
Okay. Kind of bring the county up to speed on the zoning, the planning commission, and the commissioners. Mainly the commissioners, the last couple of weeks, met with a couple of solar companies and wind company. Had a meeting with Ranger Power this week that went pretty positive. They're looking at a solar field. Best way to describe it, about a 14-mile line from 74. Right off of, is that subdivision?
Subdivision, we're 174 across over 136.
Yeah.
That area.
In that area. And like I said, it's a very positive meeting. That's about as far along as any project we have in the county. We met with Duke last week, and I thought it was solar. Well, it turned out it was wind, and it's in the southern part of the county. This is 41, this is 234. So it just takes a northeast path, 21,000 acres, up to 136 around Williamsport, but of course, Wayne County. And then just a little north of Alamo, cuts through Sugar Mill Lake on the south border, and then goes right by those landfills proposed years ago. So I told them, you know, there were people in that area that spent tens of thousands of their own dollars to stop a landfill. It's going to be 60 feet high. I doubt that they're going to be real happy with 600-foot windmills. I said, so if you're going to approach this, maybe you want to think, give them the option of solar if you can. They said they can do solar. So I think how they're going to present, they're already calling people, is would you prefer wind, solar, or neither on your property? So, but they're just starting with that, so.
And
you hear rumors,
Going to take care of the roots on that?
And just be mindful.
that's all on our height zoning ordinance.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just be mindful that they are aware of the ordinance in place and would conform to that. And on top of that, the House Bill 1381, whatever that comes to.
Right.
But that changed substantially last week, for the better of the county.
Did it make it out?
What's
They got
that?
it was still in committee last time.
It did pass the Utilities Committee and being passed on to the part of the Senate. They did change it substantially to allow any ordinance that is in place as of, I believe, June of 2021 stands, and your local government will still have control. There's a breakdown of that. There is much more to that.
I know AIC is 67% against.
Yes, it was about 67% of the state against it. So that falls in line. So that was a great change that happened there. And I believe everybody was on board that it will continue to pass, but it at least left our ordinance in place for now, yeah. Okay. I hear crickets. Yeah.
Oh, I That's about it.
Do we have anybody else on Zoom?
Johnson.
Presentation.
Oh, what happened to him?
Okay, well, guess we won't worry about that one, so.
Dan's got something. No, no. Okay.
Okay, so next meeting then we'll deal with the ARP.
Oh, okay.
All right, I guess for that.